right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. I've got a few boxes here, a 4-box PSA return. So this should be a pretty decent one. I believe it was a 70-card submission. I think there's some higher value cards in here. I think there's a couple cards in the $200 to $500 range in here, but I think most of them probably right around $100 in a PSA 10. Most of them Metazoo, some of them new Metazoo. I do have a few submissions that I'm building right here, like the Torrential Tides opening from the other night. And I've got this whole box over here. This is probably going to be, I think, like a 120 card submission. All these bad boys here. I'm still waiting on getting some of these sealed Nick Strength and Power promos graded by PSA. But we've got them graded with BGS, CGC, and DSG. So let's get into our first box here. And I'm already seeing a nice little surprise that I forgot I sent in here. Let me take out the paperwork, though. All right, yeah, I am seeing something kind of interesting and cool in this one. Couple things, actually, top and bottom. So this is, maybe this is going to be just all the non-Metazoo and Pokemon cards, because I submitted a few. So we did get a Chris Bumstead in there. Shout out to Chris. Wound up with a PSA 9 on that bad boy. From the Mr. Olympia trading card series. Tops now, Shane Gillis, PSA 10. Start a 10 stack here. Another 10 for Shane Gillis. I think these cards are doing pretty well. I think these are over $100 in a 10. I think the last one I sold was right around maybe 105 in a PSA 10. So there's 3 10s right there. Probably about $300. There's another 9. There's another 10, probably about $400 there. There we go. PSA 10 Cryptid Nation First Edition Mothman Hollow. I don't know what these are going for now. Last I looked, these were about $150 in a 10, maybe a little bit less. They're kind of holding steady somewhere in between 150 or somewhere between 100 and 200. But I did grade a few of these, so here's a 10. So there's another $150. There's another 10 for the first edition Hollow Mothman, another $150 there. And I will be selling probably most of these. So my eBay link will be in the description box below. I graded most of these just because I had opened so many boxes in the last year. Actually, not because I had opened so many, but because I hadn't graded very often in the last year or so. And I had so much stuff that I had opened that I had never sent to PSA. So I was collecting all these Mothman, all these Metazoo cards, and I just sent them all in one big submission. So second edition Mothman PSA 10, probably less than a $50 card if I had to guess. And finally, another 9, Shane Gillis, tops now. And if you don't know who Shane Gillis is, I highly recommend you check him out. Really good comedian. That's why I sent those in. He's my favorite comedian right now. I think that was one of the ones where if you could buy, they were like blind boxes. You could get like insert cards that were autographed or serialized. I think I did get a serialized one, but it graded really, really bad. I think it graded like a 6 or a 7. So I think I ended up selling that, but I did not get a Shane Gillis auto. So here looks like a box of new Metazoo. This is some of what we want to see. Kind of the experiment here of how well did these new cards grade with the Metazoo base set for 2025. I honestly don't know the value on most of these, though. Rainbow Crow, one of my favorite alt arts from that set, getting a 9. No idea on the value. Mr. Rainbow Crow. Another Rainbow Crow, getting a 9. Wendigo, Nightfall First Edition Full Hollow, getting a PSA 10. Very nice. If I had to guess, $35, $40 in a PSA 10. Rayquaza VMAX. This is an interesting one. I actually pulled this last Christmas with some of my buddies that came over to my house. And I actually pulled this out of, we got like those Pokeball tins, those round tins with the packs in them. And I was actually surprised that this would have got a 10 because you guys know anything that comes in those tins, they're kind of like bent up and warped a little bit and not the best. You know, they shake around, they get damaged. But I thought this card looked so clean, I had to send it in. It got a 10. Not sure on the value. I'd probably guess like $100, maybe more like in the 80 range if I had to guess. 80 to 100. You guys can let me know in the comments below how accurate I am on some of these guesstimates here. Nice. Mothman, Full Hollow, PSA 10 from the Metazoo base set. These were one of the cards that I was worried were not going to grade very well. There was a lot of them with print lines, a lot of them with scratches. This is the first 10 that I've gotten so far. I don't remember exactly how many I sent in here. It took a while to get these back. I think I had these at PSA for, I want to say it was a little over 3 months now. It's been a while. And I still got another submission there that I sent even prior to this one with the Burger King gold-plated cards, where I believe they only ended up grading the 2 Charizards out of those. But another Mothman, this time getting a 9. Chaos Crystal, first edition Cryptid Nation, getting a 9. Mothman from Nightfall, Full Hollow, getting a 9. Okay. I was hoping to get a few 10s of the Nightfall Mothman. I don't remember how many I sent in. Another Chaos Crystal 9. Not liking this trend. Oh, there we go. Chaos Crystal 10. Loveland Frogman 9. I remember, I believe I got screwed on these Frogmen. Another 9. Another 9. They're all first edition, but a bunch of 9s for the frogs. Another Wendigo, Nightfall first edition Full Hollow, PSA 10. Like I said, I think 35 or 40 bucks. Maybe even less than that at this point. Lady Luck. One of the, what was the word for the Seance? Was it the Hateful Eight? The 8 cards that only came in Full Hollow with Seance? I think it was. Lady Luck was one of them. I had luck with this card, pun intended, the last time I graded and sold a PSA 10, which there's one right here. And I believe it ended up going for over $100, which really surprised me. And that's either because the population is really low, maybe no one's just, it's just kind of a weird card and nobody's grading it, or maybe it is that hard to pull and nobody's getting any 10s out of these. But Lady Luck has done well for me in the past, and I wanted to give it another shot, and it looks like that paid off here with another 10. I'm going to guess, I want to guess right around $100 for a Lady Luck PSA 10. Quetzalcoatlus from the new Metazoo, the Alt Art 3-star, one of my favorite cards from the base set. Unfortunately, getting a 9. I love the hexagonal pattern on that bad boy. Another Quetzalcoatlus PSA 9 from the new Metazoo base set. Not really surprised that we're seeing several 9s from the new set. And all 3 of them. I believe I submitted 3 Quetzalcoatluses, all of them getting a 9 from the new base set, which now, thanks to the base set, our 9 stack is now higher than the 10 stack. But we've got 2 more boxes left to make up for that here. So let's try to do so, shall we? And I hope you guys enjoyed the stream the other night. I'm planning on doing another one again on, I guess, Saturday night. I've got a couple more boxes coming. I am going to try to do one of each at least. One base set box and one Torrential Tides box. I want to do a little bit more base set and kind of dig into that once again. So Saturday, if you guys enjoyed the last stream that we did, I'll be doing another one on Saturday night. Probably a much shorter one. The Mothman Super Rare getting a 9 from the new Metazoo base set. Another Mothman Super Rare getting a 9 from the new Metazoo base set. No idea what the value on the... Ooh. This is one that I'm interested to see what it goes for. I'll probably put this one for auction and not buy it now. The Sun Wukong 3-star Alt Art. PSA 10. And this is the box art for the base set. A lot of people's favorite card in the set. I don't even think I've seen one of these sell yet in a PSA 10. I think I submitted a couple, and I don't quite recall if I got another PSA 10. No, I got a 9. Okay. Ooh, nice. Native Piazza Bird. Another nice hit. I'm not really sure what this is going for, but definitely one of the harder cards to pull out of Native. And I don't know that it necessarily has a high population of PSA 10s. I'm kind of curious what this would end up going for. I've got a couple of these still in my personal collection, so this one I will sell. Again, the link will be in the description box below. And whatever card I just dropped is apparently a Pokemon card. And I'll show you guys at the end of this video some of the stuff that I'm looking at submitting. I think you guys are going to be impressed by my next PSA submission if you're a Pokemon fan. Very, very Pokemon heavy. So if you're not a big fan of Metazoo, I think you're going to enjoy the next submission. Okay, so this was the McDonald's Charizard non-holo from the 2025 Happy Meals. This one getting a 9. However, there was another one. A little loose in that case, though. And that bad boy got a PSA 10. I want to say $85 range for this card in a PSA 10. Again, feel free to challenge or test my knowledge in the comments down below, or correct me, I guess, if you guys know the values of these. Walking Sam, actually from Seance, PSA 9. So I think this was a little bit harder to pull than the Cryptid Nation Walking Sam. This one getting a PSA 10, though. Very nice. I do already have one of these in my personal collection, so I'll be selling that one as well. Nice. Men in Black, full holo from 2022's Metazoo UFO. PSA 10, another harder card to pull. Probably not a whole lot of 10s of these. Oh, back-to-back. Another PSA 10, Men in Black. Nice. If you're looking for a Men in Black, I got 2 of them. A Metazoo UFO, though, only getting a 9. I really like this card. I think it's a little bit underrated. A lot of the cards from UFO, not very valuable. Even some of the bigger hits like Men in Black and UFO. I do think the Men in Black might be surprisingly valuable, though, in a PSA 10. Another UFO and a 9. Okay, so Rat King. Shout out to whoever I bought the Rat King promo from on eBay. Whoever it was, they said, I tried to make sure I sent you one of the best ones I had. So if you're watching this, shout out. This one got a 7. However, the other one, which I believe is from that guy, and again, I apologize for forgetting your name here, but PSA 10 on the Rat King. So this is interesting. If you guys remember this promo, this was one that you had to physically go to Times Square in New York to be able to redeem for this promo. Great looking card, by the way. But now, with the Whatnot resellers, we've seen this promo selling, and you can see it on eBay now, probably raw in the pack for like $20, maybe $25. I'm still seeing, though, the sold listings recently for the 10 of this card. Maybe it's hard to grade, but I saw a couple sold listings for a PSA 10 of this card in the $300 to $400 range recently, which I was surprised to see. I don't plan on selling my 10, but I guess if you're in the market for a 7, which, I mean, who really is, but I am keeping the 10 because I don't have one in my personal collection just yet. Mothman, the 3-star alt art from the new Metazoo base set, getting a 9. The biggest hit that we pulled from the 2025 Metazoo base set, they call this the Moth Bryon because it looks very similar to the Moon Bryon. The big star, hidden rare Mothman. I've heard people say they've opened over 100 boxes. I've heard people say they've opened over 100 cases. Actually, have I heard that? I don't want to provide false information, but I definitely heard 100 boxes without pulling one of these. Very difficult, hard to pull. Pretty disappointed that it got a 9. I think if it got a 10, it's in more like the $800 to $900 range. I think as a 9, it's in more of that $200 to $300 range. Again, correct me if you guys know the values of this. I don't think very many have sold, and I don't think very many are listed or will be listed. This one I'm holding on to for now. Beautiful, beautiful card. I just really wish that it got a 10. There we go. There's the Mothman alt art in a PSA 10. I'm wondering, I don't remember how many I sent. There's a 9 of the super. Do we only get one PSA 10 of the alt art moth? It doesn't look like we're getting any super rares in a 10. And I think this was one of our big concerns with the base set. The super rares looked very ungradable. I tried to pick the best ones that I had. I don't think I had any that looked absolutely perfect, but maybe just if there were print lines, they were the least visible, and I didn't pick them up on, kind of pre-grading them. But those were definitely the cards that we were worried were not going to do well here. Final box of this submission, and then I'll show you guys, some little bonus stuff that I've got sitting over here. All right. Final box. Another Chaos Crystal and a 9. The 9 stack ever grows. Wow. Mothman Reverse Holo with the gray stamp. I know this was a more difficult card to pull. This one, for some reason, getting a 4. And unless I'm blind... Oh, Oh, I'm an idiot. There's a big old bend in this card. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember that being there when I sent it. I feel like I definitely would not have sent it had I noticed, but if anybody wants a PSA 4 Mothman Reverse Hollow, you know where to find me. There we go, PSA 10. I think this is going to end up being a very low pop card. I think I'm going to keep this one in my personal collection for now. I love the way that it looks, unless I get another one. I don't remember how many I sent, but very good looking card, the Reverse Hollow Gray Stamped Mothman. And this one getting an 8. So again, like I said, these are probably two of the worst grades of this submission, but we did get a 10. I had a feeling this was going to be a more difficult card to grade. Mothman Reverse Hollow First Edition PSA 10. No idea what these are going for right now. Maybe $50. Another one in a 10. Again, maybe $50. That was first edition, right? Yeah. Another one in a 10. First edition. Did I send any second editions of these reverses? Oh, there we go. Another full hollow Mothman PSA 10. Another $150 or so. Full hollow PSA 9 first edition. Another PSA... Damn, how many of these Mothman did I send in? Another PSA 10. Cryptid Nation Mothman first edition. Full hollow. Another 9 of the Mothman Alt Art. Man, I hope we got another 10. I would love to be able to sell one of them. Another 9. Fuck. Satanic Panic. Unfortunately getting a 9. This would have been a nice card to have in a 10. Love this card. Poncho artwork, fantastic. Another one in a 9. A Chains of Old Scratch, another beautiful Poncho card from Seance, unfortunately getting a 9. I have a couple of these in a 10 in my personal collection, but I pulled these from Seance a few months ago. I think I opened them with my buddy Chris, and I've been holding on to them, and I thought, I'll just send them in with this submission. Another one in a 9, but they're decent in a 10. Another Chaos Crystal 9. Another Chaos Crystal 9. There we go, Nightfall Mothman 10. We'll take that. The 10 stack's pretty decent here. And a Nightfall Mothman 9. Overall, I don't think we really got crushed. We got a really good amount of 10s here. Like I said, I'll show you guys some of... just a sneak peek, I guess, of my next submission here. We got some good stuff in here. I promise. So this is going to be a mostly Pokemon submission. As you can see, I promise good stuff. Rocket's Mewtwo, Deoxys Metagross, Gengar from Fossil, Ampharos, Tyranitar, Hydrogen... Oh yeah, I'm grading a bunch of Celebration stuff. I noticed the prices have gone up on Celebrations 10s. So a bunch of Celebrations, classic collections hits. The Mewtwo, the Team Rocket's Mewtwo from the new Destined Rivals set. Birthday Pikachu from Celebrations. Shining Magikarp from Celebrations. More Celebration stuff. As we come up already on the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. More Celebrations. I think I'm sending like one of each. My best one of each Celebrations hit. Yeah. There's a whole lot of Celebrations in there. Some of these are going for pretty good money. I know this Umbreon is going for a good amount in a PSA 10. I'm assuming that's because they're relatively hard to grade, so I'm not expecting to get all 10s. I did throw in a couple Greninjas in there. I know the price on a PSA 10 Greninja is crazy. I know that these Pokemon Center promos, Miraidon and Koraidon, have gone up in value significantly if you can get one in a 10, so I'm submitting a few of those. Some more Celebrations. You guys get the idea. I was definitely looking at some of the recent like market recap videos, and I just noticed that Celebrations seems to be like steadily moving up. So I wanted to... I have a ton of Celebrations. You guys know if you've been... Oh, yeah, the Celebrations Pikachu. There are a couple sold listings of this card in a PSA 10. I'm assuming that means it's really hard to grade. Gengar from Topps, just a regular non-holo back from 1999. I heard that this card is going for about $600 if you can get a PSA 10. I had like 25 copies of it packed fresh, so I'm submitting a few of those. I know these aren't in the best shape here, these holo checklists, but I think they're really cool. and I don't think there's a lot of them graded, so I'm going to try my hand with a few of them. These Ultra Premium Collection Mews and Mewtwo's, I believe. Gold Mew there from Celebrations. Like I said, there's some decent Pokemon stuff in here. That's not the whole submission, but overall, a pretty decent Pokemon submission if you guys enjoy Pokemon. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Again, if you guys want to buy some of these cards, check out my eBay. Link in the caption below. Oh, yeah, and also, the big hitter from what we pulled on the last stream, the Mothman Legend Rare, that is also going to PSA with my next submission. So stay tuned. More submissions coming, more live streams coming. See you guys on the next one. Nick Strength and Pokemon signing out.